Hey everybody, Radaman here. Thanks for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included. So I have mostly bad news, but I'll fix it. All right, so one, Taha and Quay mentioned why I had a bit of a power problem here, and it is because I didn't use a conductive wire bridge. I'll be fixing that shortly. So the other bad news is, well, my gold taming failed. And I'll show you. I'll have to unpause to show you. There was so much gold that it locked up the system, but I do have a pretty reasonable, albeit inefficient solution, but a pretty reasonable, easy solution. So if you did copy my gold volcano taming, all you need to do is to put in a conveyor chute, and I'm putting the conveyor chute exactly where the liquid water will drop in. So it does mean that this auto sweeper will have to put a lot more work in. Constantly feeding the loop, but this won't fail as much. The other bad news is, well, my liquid locks failed. In analyzing my liquid locks, though, I don't actually believe it is my fault. So let's take a look. My liquid locks previously, let's take a look at some of the vertical ones that I've built. It's about 300 grams of liquid for the top and bottom crude. So where do I have top and bottom crude locks? Well, here's a good, well, that's not a good example actually. But you'll just have to get my word on it that, well, here's a good example. About 350, or 330, right? So about, let's say between 600 and 700 grams of liquid. So if we take a look over here, the amount of petroleum that is on the ground is about 600 grams of liquid, but it's all petroleum. So where did the crude oil go? I think Oxygen Not Included glitched out and turned all my crude oil into petroleum, and then sploosh, my liquid lock went bye-bye. What happened over here, I really haven't a clue, because I have a normal amount of liquid lock material here, and then just like an odd thing of petroleum, and I'm really not sure where that petroleum came from. So I'm going to be having to fix my ranch, because obviously, whatever happened to it, it doesn't really matter. I know that we're supposed to have hydrogen up top because hydrogen encourages these scales to regrow, and then oxygen on the bottom for the farm. And I do intend to fix this, so I'll be fixing this shortly, or presently, I should say. So we will set up for that. But kind of a pain in the butt. The liquid locks are just not reliably stable, for better or for worse, and this is not the first time I've had a liquid lock go haywire, but upon analyzing this liquid lock, it became pretty apparent to me that it wasn't my fault, that somehow my crude oil magically turned into petroleum, and that's why the lock failed, not because I swept it or anything. Because if I did accidentally sweep it, I wouldn't have somehow 600 grams of petroleum. As you can see here, I have 524 and 174. I would have, 300 grams of petroleum because that's all I had built into my liquid lock. So I know it's a bit of a cop-out, but yes, I didn't break my locks. My locks bugged out, as far as I could tell. So now I'm going to be in operation fixing this problem. So over here, I have to do this. I'll show you. I have to build a tile here to keep this lock intact while I mop up this. So if I started mopping here, it would destroy this whole lock and leak a whole bunch of hydrogen over there. So instead, what I have to do is put a tile down so that it can mop everything left of the tile so that I can put in a visco lock. While that's happening, I'm going to... replace some of the mesh tiles because the visco locks don't require mesh tiles. And then we'll put bottle emptiers here and here. Actually, I think I just destroyed bottle emptiers, which was kind of pointless, but I'll put the bottle emptiers back in so that we can set up visco locks for the other areas as well, because I no longer trust petroleum and crude oil locks, and it is a good time to switch over because, as you can see, Ooh, actually. No, hold on. Going to gas here. Yeah, there's carbon dioxide that could leak into my ranch that is pure oxygen. So let me not do that right now. All right, so there's carbon dioxide here, and that carbon dioxide is the problem. Well, all right, let's do a mini gas pump. And if the element is oxygen, if the element is carbon dioxide, there's not enough room here, actually. So we'll bridge it up top. All right, so if the element is carbon dioxide, we'll get rid of it. This just became unnecessarily more complicated, but whatever. So gas shut off, let's use gold. So if it's carbon dioxide, we'll dump it here. And then if it's oxygen, we'll dump it out. That'll have to do. And actually, I'm going to get a mini pump over here as well, I think. Or actually, probably even like a big pump. So over here, we don't have the issue. Oh no, there's carbon dioxide here as well. Ugh. That's all I have to say. Ugh. I don't like it. All right, so now that we have this block here keeping the liquid lock intact, I can mop up this petroleum. There, it's gone. And then replace this with a visco. And that will be all set. If we take a look at their volcano, this conveyor chute's still not done. Let's emergency it. And that should fix my volcano taming. It's going to be a lot more effort for the conveyor loader and the sweeper, but because they're in a steam environment, they will be cooled automatically. So I don't really need to worry about that. Because the temperature that they're... Oh, yeah, let's stop that. The temperature that they're allowed is not a problem if it's cooled. Right, they're in this steam environment, they're never going to reach their melt temperature. They're overheat. Because of the steam. So, there. The gold volcano taming is now fixed. And next up will be the ranch. Alright, I also wanted to move this automation wire just so it's a little cleaner. Yeah, that looks a little cleaner. And then, of course, everything's going to need to be plugged in. I'm also going to start incubating the glossies again because my glossy pop has gone down. And let's take a look at the star map. So the star map, the ships are coming back soon. So I'm going to sweep up the thermium and steel that we don't need up there. Is this fixed? Almost. Down here, all we need to do is get the gold amalgam wires back in place, and that will be fixed. All right, so the gold taming obviously works. We've tamed it, right? This is no longer clogged. It's perfect. Well, it's not perfect. It's inefficient, but it's functional, and I suppose that's what matters. There happens to be carbon dioxide on both sides, so let's get rid of it. Mini gas pump will be on the other side as well. We can have both mini gas pumps feeding to the same filter. Oops. Bridge. And that should be fine. And then this element filter is going to say, if it's carbon dioxide, pass it through, everything else stays. Which includes oxygen, which obviously is going to have to change at some point. And then let's get these plugged in. So, like that will do. And then once we have all the carbon dioxide out, I can switch my liquid locks over. New printable. More Joyas. Why not? Alright, so now the pump here should be grabbing. Let's watch the ventilation on slow. It's grabbing. Oh, that's not what it's supposed to do. So if it's. Oh, yeah, it's on overpressure. I'm gonna have to switch vents, aren't I? Alright, speed time back up. Never mind. Gonna have to switch vents. I forgot that these don't work past 2K. Alright, ventilation. High pressure vents. Okay, that should be all set in just a second. Space looks good. Down here we've made minor progress. Now let's just watch the rants for a second. Alright, so my gas pipe element sensor. Do I have an automation wire on that? Yeah, I do. It doesn't seem to be working. Oh, now it works for, okay, now carbon dioxide. Did it have it set to carbon or something? There it goes. Maybe I had it set to carbon, like, incorrectly. So we're just trying to get rid of these pockets of carbon dioxide so that I can replace the liquid locks with viscogel ones and not have carbon dioxide get into my farms for the ranches. I suppose there is a good reason for airflow tiles here to allow carbon dioxide to sort of settle out and down. So we'll fix that as well. All right, so this left side here, I'm going to disable this mini gas pump because the left side no longer has carbon dioxide. That's going to be a problem unless this drops. It could. And then we can mop up the old petroleum and crude oil and sweep and replace with the beautiful space age viscogel. I'll do that quick. Carbon dioxide's here. How'd that carbon dioxide get there? Quick! Alright, so this side looks good too. No! That's exactly where I didn't want the car. Oh, laughs in pain. All right, what I'm going to do for now is to... Oh god, this just got a lot more complicated. All right. So if we take a look, the carbon dioxide is kind of stuck here. So I'm adding a floor that is temporary so that we can... Oh, did I destroy... I guess I destroyed the carbon dioxide. Okay, let's get rid of this. Put this to sweep only visco gel. And to sweep up this visco gel to put it into the bottle emptier. And then we're all set. Alright, over here, we have no more carbon dioxide anywhere in the system, so this disable this mop. I guess that wasn't as bad as I thought it could have been. Alright, so these are going to be 9, these are 9. I don't think we used the sweep only, but that's alright. Because I could do it over here. I want them to use this stuff. So, the visco gel up here, let's stop sweeping it. So that it doesn't... We use the stuff that's in the ranch. Alright, the mopping is done. And then this is going to be... Visco sweep. 9. And then what's left is to get rid of all this oxygen that doesn't belong in here. Oxygen, unfortunately included. Done and done. So we can break down these bottle emptiers. We don't need them anymore. And then what's next is switch this over from carbon dioxide to oxygen. And then turn these pumps back on, and it will eventually remove all the oxygen out of the ranch that doesn't belong there. And then if I have to add in some hydrogen, I can. Over here, now let's get rid of this one too. And this as well. So now if we take a look at the ventilation, yeah, it is getting rid of all the oxygen that doesn't belong in here. And it will slowly turn it back to hydrogen. Well, looks good. All right, water filter. Let's see if this has gone back to normal. So it's circulating. Still has food poisoning, so we'll wait for the food poisoning to go to 0. And let's go ahead and do double glossy, just to recover our glossy pop. So, given enough time, eventually all this oxygen will be removed. It'll just take a while, but we're in no rush. It works. Our space missions are home. Oh, both of them. I hope that these guys haven't been waiting too long. I think Sine Curve has been waiting a while. Because all the cargo is emptied out of it. So what I'm going to be doing is redesigning this Sine Curve's rocket to go back to get the fullerene for more, whatever it's called, more, more fullerene for more supercoolant. That's the word I was looking for, supercoolant. Alright, water filter seems to be working, so I think it was just a save and load issue. I just needed to do a save and load cycle. So we're going to be moving it, because to get fullerene, we're going to need 2 liquid tanks and a solid tank. like we used to have. So let's set this to 0 load. Let's go ahead and copy this down. Oh, well, it needs something that... Yeah, okay. I'll have to build it up from the ground up. Because we're going to be putting the rocket back here once this is done. Okay, this is full oxalite, so the left rocket's already ready for relaunch. I'm going to let them de-stress a little bit. The cell phone there, that old brick phone, let's put that into our Hall of Artifacts. A strange brick. Yeah, they literally called it a strange brick. Alright, there's the petroleum engine. Yeah, so now as you can see, the ranch is slowly... the oxygen is slowly being removed. If I wanted to go a little bit faster, which maybe I do, I'm going to remove these mini gas pumps, replacing them with the normal ones, because they'll pump more volume. Which works for me. It's funny to have like a floating rocket here. Now that the rockets are home, another thing that I could do is to fix the ore gates. So let's put the ore gates here and here. And then moving the signal switches here and here with automation wires. Oops, like this and like this. And that way, we can use the top here for auto miners. We don't need to... So this stuff can get broken down. And let's do construction 9. Retool that so that we can launch soon. Get rid of the switch as well. Alright, so that's effectively the same thing, just moved. I just didn't want to do this while the spacecrafts were coming in, because it could have caused a collision with the bunker doors. Down here, it looks like we are making a little bit of progress. I do want some additional insulation here. So I did get some YouTube comments about why am I putting insulation here. It's because if I'm adding to the volume of this magma, which, you know, obviously I am, the magma will start to rise. So if I didn't have insulation tile here that has a unbelievably high melt point and almost no heat conductivity, I would be in for a bad time. Very, very bad time. So here's my solid oxidizer tank. And we are going to put a gantry back where this used to be. Like here, I guess. Yep. So get this built. And then we'll put another liquid tank, and that's so that we can get out to the full rain. So these switches that just got built need to be retracted. And then the idea here is to have... these robo-miners cover the doors in a way that they can remove the debris easily. And then I could even put, like, what would be the melt temperature of a thermium auto sweeper? I don't even know. Oh, well, here's one. Okay, I could even put an auto sweeper down here to sweep up what the doors drop. If I did that, I would probably likely want there to be bunker tiles along the entire bottom So there's just one spot to sweep. So it does mean adding a few more bunker tiles in, but that's fine. All right, let's get the gantry. And the gantry switches. Done. Get that built. And then we'll also get the liquid fuel tank built. In just a sec. So these bad boys up here need to be powered on. They might be sort of susceptible to strikes. I'm not exactly sure. I think there might be a possibility of a meteorite strike coming in at such an angle that they get hit, but we'll see. We'll experiment over time. They do have an overhang of 2, which is pretty good, and I can even increase that overhang in here if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. All right, so the solid oxidizer tank, I'm going to set to 0, and we'll get another liquid oxidizer tank. Thankfully, there's still even the plumbing from the last liquid oxidizer tank setup, so I don't even really need to run new plumbing. What I might need to do is to make sure that my coolant is coming through. Yeah, it looks to me like, given the amount of launches I've had, I need to introduce more petroleum into the mix. So this left one is set to go, and I'm going to have Muhammad hop in it. And no strikes are coming anytime soon, so we'll be set to launch. Wait, how's that not connected yet? Oh, it's not powered. That's a totally different matter. All right, Muhammad is in here, and we are going to go to the star map. So there's not enough resources available at the carbon asteroid that I want to go to, so I'm going to go to the... Oh boy, retract! Oh, I retracted in time. That's good. And let's close that. Alright, so here's the other liquid fuel tank. Because I don't have the numbers memorized, I'm going to have to look it up on Ani Assistant. So, petroleum, 2 cargo bays, oxalite, 20k is 10,037. So 1037 and 900 plus 137. And we'll get this refueled. And then another thing I want to do is to remove some of these unnecessary ladders and then sweep. Because there's a lot of stuff to sweep up here that I just don't want to get heated. So the gold volcano filtration is working beautifully. I'm very pleased by that. Over here, we do need to put the regular gas pumps in. We hadn't done that yet. But most of the hydrogen, as you can see, is on this floor here. There's just a little few pockets of oxygen, which allows the scales to regrow. That was the chief concern, is scale regrowth speed. And then this is going to be heading here when it is refueled. Oh, I cut some plumbing sloppily. And we'll have to get that back. And then here's a bunch of petroleum that was removed from the top tank because we don't need it there. I could have done the math and figured out what I had to load left, but it's easier just to have the bottom tank full and the next tank up partial. Just kind of nicer, in my opinion. Oh, but don't do that to the oxalite, guys. I absolutely hate that. As oxalite is power intensive. Did they dump all my oxalite? Dear Lord, alright. Guess what? No sleep for you guys until you sweep all that back up. Alright. For shame. For shame. Not my favorite thing to have to do. So, this oxalite setup doesn't have power because nothing has power? Trying to figure out that. Am I in a brownout right now? Oh, and here, more. Okay, great. Well, at least my visco gel lock held up. This doesn't actually need to be pressurized anymore. But we are dumping oxygen here, so it probably should be. So let's get visco gel set up over here now. All of my liquid locks failed. Everywhere. All over the place. That's just fantastic. Oh, so here's a great example of the miner working. So are these full? 9. Yep. Okay. So this should have enough to get there. Destination selected, and it has, yeah, it has all the resources. So I'm going to wait, of course, until these strikes are over, because there's no point in going anywhere with strikes coming in, but that looks good, at least. All right, over here, we're going to do another bottle emptier. Let's go ahead and mop all this up. Now it looks like the strikes are done. So, retract. And load. Now I still don't have sweeping here, so I'm still going to need to do some manual sweeping. But it's still, I would say, infinitely better than my previous system. I guess I don't need to. This is fine. But we do need a bottle emptier here. Pronto. Alright, sine curves in, and he is ready to go. So, the material available. We have enough thrust for a perfect amount of thrust. Okay, resources available are fine. Go get our fullerene. All right, guys, bottle empty your time. So yeah, as you can see in this area, we're slowly losing oxygen over time because the okay. Yeah, that's my fault. What we can do is we can sweep that back up and shove it back in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Or just to rebuild this lock altogether. Alright, so this will be a sweeps only visco. At 9. Because we just deleted it, but then if I tell them to sweep this, they'll put it back into one proper lock. You know, maybe. As you can see, all my dupes running by it. Fortunately, it was oxygen on both sides, so it's not critical. Oh, there we go. Now they're doing it. All right, that's a full lock. Turn that one off. And waiting for the other bottle emptier. And that will be most of the fix. Now, we do have a one little thing of hydrogen here, which is annoying, but like, in the big scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. So this is a 200 gram Visco. That's perfect. Over here, I'm going to have this swept at 9. And then sweep only Visco gel here. And then we'll have a double Visco airlock. Awesome. All right, checking in on the ranch. So if we take a look at the gases on the ranch, as you can see, it's just basically circulating hydrogen. Oh, and that's a bit of a problem. But it's gotten most of the oxygen out. God, I spent so much time originally trying to get all that to be hydrogen and oxygen perfectly balanced and all that, and then it just gets ruined. The other thing I could do down here is with the auto sweepers, if I have some thermium auto sweepers, I will be able to cover the launch pad. I think. Yeah, I'll be able to cover the launch pad sort of perfectly so that anything that gets up here gets swept. So what that would look like... It's kind of expensive thermium-wise, but we have a bunch of thermium. So conveyor loaders. Let's... how far down does this go? 2 below? Because, you know, if I could keep it from getting burned and heated. Although it's off to the side. Off to the side shouldn't get as heated as directly below. So there's my conveyor loaders. God, that was expensive. And then... the thing about this is we don't necessarily want this material. So, yeah, let's do it like this. We're going to have conveyor bridge. Oh, not of iron. Dear Lord, that would be bad. Yeah, now I think you can understand why I was a little hesitant. Oh, that's all the steel I have. Well, sure, I guess I'll wait for more steel. Are we going to be able to make more steel? That is now the question. Yeah, it looks like I have a bit of lime, so I'll be able to make some steel. So eventually we'll have conveyor loading. So what I want to do is I want to drop it here, so it's going to look something like conveyor chute here, where we drop it to the same spot. Because a lot of the material that we're going to be dropping is going to be regolith, and almost, you know, probably 9/10 of what we sweep is going to be regolith. So I don't really want regolith going to my normal storages. But the priority of this project is going to be like 7 or even lower because we don't have enough material to finish it up. So there's really no urgency. And we're putting iron ore in here? Oh, heck no. All right, this is steel. This is iron ore. Okay, that's still steel. Hey guys, you know all that iron ore that you just littered? Yeah, go clean that up. There's also a possibility now that I have Visco gel and that the heat here is not too ridiculous. To do something like this. I'm going to see if this works. The exhaust might destroy this, but to shortcut here might actually be possible. Given that it is so far away from our rocket launch. Because I don't think there's going to be a lot of exhaust down here. And if it does, it's not, you know, maybe it won't be too hot. So yeah, I'm flat out of steel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work on it left to right. Yeah. Long conveyors made of steel are a little expensive. So that's pretty much all the material I have, and we'll set that all to 6. Don't get yourself stuck. I don't know how they just sweeped up abyssalite from through a plastic tile, but whatever, I'll take it. The other question is how much Visco gel do I even have left? I think I have a bunch. Oh yeah, I have a bunch. I have enough for like 20 more locks. So that's no issue. Yeah, because I think we can shortcut here, and it won't produce so much heat that it would be a problem. I, again, could be wrong about that, but I have a feeling that that is true. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a shoot output here so that we can shoot to this location. And that should cut down travel time as well. So something like this. Oh, one higher, actually. Like that. Voila! I might want to get rid of the slime that is immediately adjacent. And then sweep it quick. So it doesn't, you know, become an issue. And then soon we'll just throw in a Visco and see if it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Alright, we do have strikes coming in, and we do have a carbon supply ship that is going to be done soon, so I have to keep an eye on that. I might need to open up my my carbon supply ship tube manually. Oh, no, it picked it up. The space scanner somehow picked it up. Even with a network quality of 0. Dang. Well, awesome. Good work, I guess. Down here, we haven't made a whole lot of productivity. But we're getting there. There's still a lot left to do. Oh, look at that. It's lovely. Just automatic sweeping. Now, some of the regolith that's not where the bunker tiles are, like this stuff, is not obviously going to be swept automatically, but maybe it doesn't really need to be. It might, if it really becomes a problem, we can always put a sweepy dock, like here. Actually, why don't we just do that? I don't know what happens to the sweepy dock if it like interacts with a spaceship, but I guess we'll find out. All right, we have landing. Another thing I could do is just manually open up these doors, let this stuff drop, and see about that. Okay, so the Visco. Let's get that done. Done and delivered. Oh. I'm very lucky. I hadn't been paying attention over here. Oh, because it was sweep only. That's right. All right, so now this this airlock here is properly pressurized, as you can see. Has some incorrect gases, but what is this? Gas pipe. Why is this a different color? I have no idea. Huh. I really don't know. Oh, and we have an egg. Nice. Let's get you out of there. Alright. Can I offer you an egg in this trying time? Sure. Sure. I'm not going to eat it, but sure. So, hoovering that up, I'm going to refill this. Hopefully they won't screw up the oxalate this time. Alright, so we'll get a sweepy up here. I don't know how the sweepy is going to deal with rockets and doors or whatnot, but we'll see. If it fails and it blows up, oh well, it's a little bit of thermium as an experiment. I've had worse things happen, I think. This is now done. So the melt temperature of this, the visco gel is pretty high. It's not, it might not survive. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. Alright, taking a look down here. A little bit more progress. A little bit more isoresin. So I only need 2 more things of isoresin, which is right here and here. And that'll be done. I do want to probably sweep up all of the debris that's immediately adjacent in my magma tube. I don't think that the isoresin walls or the insulation walls are going to allow a lot of the magma heat to bleed. But even still, it doesn't hurt to be cautious. Let's check in on the ranch. Oh, yeah. That's what I like to see. So there's a little bit of oxygen that kind of got stuck. But for the most part, this is a pure hydrogen environment. I'll just let these run a little bit longer. To try to get the last of the oxygen. Because right now it's you know, I am spending a lot of power trying to get one little thing of oxygen, which is you know, annoying. I could even toss a mini gas pump to try to chase it. Let's do that. Because I'm, you know, I'm obsessive sometimes. If you come so close to perfection, you might as well finish, right? There's not a good argument to being like, oh well, I'm 99.999% done, so close enough. It's like, might as well get the full 100. This rocket should be all set for relaunch. The other... Yep, the better isoresin asteroid is now... has enough material, so we can head back there. And here's our sweepy. Again, oh, it's going to be blocked here, yes. So that sweepy is not going to really work for me unless I move some ladders around, which I'm happy to do. But I think Muhammad's already in here, so he is ready to go. Good luck. And we're getting pretty close to having all the gas pumps set up. We just have one last gas pump to do, and I can make that my like sole priority and my sole focus if need be. I didn't realize there was this much stuff to sweep though, but whatever. I still think it's the right call to sweep it up. But maybe at an 8. Maybe at an 8. Just so that we can do other things first. getting the insulation built. Now up here, I'm going to put mechanized airlocks of Thermium. Because I want to be able to travel to the other side if I need to. And Thermium airlocks are not going to melt, like, really easily at all either. So that doesn't hurt me, really. Alright, so here, Mr. Sweepy, we can see how he works. And if he gets totally bonked and annihilated by the bunker doors. So he can pass over bunker doors. And this will help to, like, very, very, very slowly remove all the regolith from up here. Which is fine. It's pretty much the way I want it. So, 2 more things of insulation and we're set. I'm curious if we have the materials for that. Being done with insulation would be nice. So, I'm missing reed fibers. Huh. Alright, all the more reason to get my glossies done. So let's actually take a look at exactly my material. So, I'm missing reed fibers, but I have the isoresin. I'm missing some isoresin as well. I'm also going to continue making thermium, because I just ran a little low. So if I'm missing extra reed fibers, another thing I could do is to go into biomes that might have reed fibers, or just be patient and wait for the Drecklets to be sheared. Yeah, so here's like a thimble reed. Trying to find... I think it's just best if we patiently wait. Because it's not like that magma tube is going to be done contingent upon that singular block of ISO. Plus, if I really needed to, I could... yeah, let's do it like this. My impatience wins the day. I'm going to lower my walls, my insulation walls down by 1. And then I'll have enough. Because I don't think the magma is getting up to this height. Also, these granite pipes here, as I'm sure many of you probably have thought about, as soon as they're in my tubes here, they're going to need to be made of obsidian, or bad things happen. So throw some 9s on that. Insulator tile down here, done. That's going to be fully insulated. And then up here, we will put the thermite or thermium airlocks. Sweet. So the bottom half is done. Now, it might be possible to build some obsidian ladders to get access to this big pool of magma, so that we're not reliant on this micro pool. Very, very briefly, you're going to be able to go into the magma in in exosuits, but you can't linger there. I mean, that's the caveat. Or we'll have our first death. I haven't had anyone die yet, so I'd like to avoid that. All right, petroleum. It's probably enough. God, this sweepy is a little too slow, as there's tons of regolith. Now, a lot of this regolith would be removed by the doors opening. And how soon? We are going to have some landings soon. The other problem is, as we break down these pipes and switch them... Well, maybe they weren't even built to begin with. But as we switch the materials, they're going to... it would drop material here, which is not ideal, given this abyssalite's a little hot. Just a little. This is all 8s. Okay. How much more steel do I have? 330 kilograms? One of these things, I'm probably just going to have to wait until I make some more. What about refined gold? Ah, yeah, 11 tons. That's what I'm talking about. So I don't need insulation anymore. I'm going to stop and keep my reed fibers. I don't need any more thermium for now. If I needed more tungsten, I would have to smelt it. But I don't think I have any wolframite. No, I don't. So I'd have to go mining for wolframite if I wanted more thermium. There's plenty of wolframite, especially in the cold biomes. So if I go to the metal overlay here and just look at cold biomes, I'm sure, yeah, see, there's all this blue stuff is wolframite. There's tons of it. Part of me says, just get it. Just get it. It might be useful. And I can give this a priority of like 6. Doesn't need to be that high. But that way, if we want more wolframite, it is easy to get. So if you take a look at the pressure in this tube, the oxygen gets a little pressurized down here. But, like, it's pretty thin. I mean, it's been working passively for a while now. But I will be accelerating it with the obsidian, with these gas pumps. So I think once we clear this height here, maybe even this height, I'm going to just use granite. If it melts, and I'll have to rebuild it. But I think it will be all right. Yeah, this granite here is, as feared, slowly climbing up in temperature, and it's going to get so hot, it's going to be damaging, so going to want to sweep that up. Okay, space missions. The metallic is coming home soon. These sweepies are workhorses, aren't they? Steel's climbing. Slow, but climbing. It's going to be a while until I have enough steel for all the conveyors, though. I could alternatively make thermium and do some of the conveyor, some of the, you know, conveyor rails out of thermium as well, just to sort of make it a little easier to do both, but I'm not 100% certain that that's the route I want to take. I don't think that's a good use of thermium, or yeah, of thermium. I'm so used to saying the wrong thing. All right, gold in there, and then we'll have a thermium cross the gap. Actually, we could just do the whole thing thermium. Because the doors... I don't think the doors are going to heat up, but they may. Alright, space missions both are complete. So far, I don't see a dead sweepy, so that's good. And more artifacts. We've been finding a whole lot of those lately. Alright, so these are going to be refueling. We have 2 more artifacts. And yeah, that all seemed to be... that worked out quite nicely, gotta say. Look, the, yeah, all the petroleum that we've been dumping in there kind of filled it up a little. Let's make sure to be running our water filters. And we're actually running that artifact room. So let me put the last 2 here. The magma lamp. And the modern art. I love the description of modern art. Just simply, I don't get it. Don't worry, art, I don't get it either. Not often. And that is all the time I have. We're getting pretty close to having this magma tube operable. My guess is one more episode for the magma tube, and then I'm going to be able to move on from this personal project, the one that I wanted to build. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. I will catch you next episode. Adios.